What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Joystick Ayrton. Today we're talking about the MSI Claw and how, unfortunately, this thing is just missing in action. All right. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you're doing well. You're probably doing better than the MSI Claw 8AI Plus is, at least in its sales figures, as it is probably a worse paper launch than the RTX 5080 and 5090, and that thing doesn't exist. It's pretty much a spoof product, at least at the time of writing. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the MSI Claw 8AI Plus. It's missing in action. You can't get your hands on one, but you were supposed to be able to order one around January the 14th. It was hopefully going to be the first handheld launching in 2025, and we are still currently waiting for it to pop up on shelves anywhere here in the US. With that being said, the Legion Go S is right around the corner, coming out on February the 14th. That looks like a garbage fire for the price, but with that being said, we're going to dive on into it and talk about the MSI Claw 8AI Plus and why this is such a bad thing for MSI. Okay, so let's talk about the goodwill and how that's just slowly rescinding from MSI. We look back at the launch of the original MSI Claw and it was an incredible dumpster fire. It was incredibly bad performance. The ARC drivers were still non-existent. You had no battery life whatsoever. The buttons were bad. The ergonomics were bad. The entire package was bad. It flopped. It's clearance in a lot of places. It is a terrible, terrible product. And even at the clearance price, it's not even close to worth it. Now, with that being said, they promised a lot of changes, wholesale changes. They really were cooking things up from that first disaster before Asus even announced they had an 80 watt hour battery coming. So MSI obviously knew those tides were turning. So insert the MSI 8AI Plus and the 7AI Plus. Those two devices coming out here pretty soon, or should have been out pretty soon, really got a lot of goodwill, at least the 8AI Plus, from reviewers. You had Retro Game Corps, you had the Phawx, you had ETA Prime, who all said this is a good Intel product, and that is great for us as the consumer. You really don't want AMD being the only one pushing the development down the page. This will take us back to like the 9900K and Intel, where they didn't do anything for like 10 years because AMD was over there just dead in the water, so they never progressed us anywhere, and now we have absolutely insane products because AMD came out just crushing it with Ryzen and is still doing so. Now Intel's fallen off the back burner, and you got a lot of competition there. Same thing happening here in our handhelds. That is super important for all of us. With that being said, there's still a little bit of work to be done. The MSI Claw came out, and in those reviews looked extremely promising for everyone. Pretty high price tag, but you're getting an 8-inch screen, better performance than AMD's Z1 Extreme, good battery life, an 8-inch screen, and what looked like pretty good ergonomics. It sounded like a pretty good deal. 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte storage. Comparing that to the Ally, it seemed like it was at least a debatable topic of, is this worth that $100 premium for a bigger screen, Intel, a little bit more performance, and that big battery, plus 32 gigs of RAM? It had an argument. Now, with that being said, we're running out of the reason for that argument. You have Lenovo Legion Go's at $550 on sale right now. Z1 Extreme ROG Allies, the original, that are $450 new right now. And then you have this Legion Go S that's coming that really doesn't have a place, I don't think, in the market. And MSI, where they could have launched and nobody else would have been around. It would have been like, yes, that is the one you should go get. It's the premium device right now. Things are coming in the future, but if you want something within the first 4 months, it's going to be an absolute banger. Here you are, and they've missed that window. It's really unfortunate. I'm not quite understanding why that is. We reached out, actually sent a message to MSI. I don't expect to get one back as we're such a small channel, but why? Where? What's going on? At least if we had a release date, something that was going to hit the shelves here in the States, we would be able to try to carry that goodwill. Now, I think it's going to absolutely blow the Legion Go S out of the water, but I still think they're now going into a place where they're going to, instead of having no competition, all the competition. You're going to have a Legion Go OLED. That's going to be an incredible device depending on what exactly is going into it, as we still know it's a prototype at the moment. What is Asus cooking up? What does Valve have cooking up outside of their work with Lenovo and the Legion Go S SteamOS model? There's just a lot of competition coming down the way. You have a lot of these different 1X players, GPD devices that they're going to need to compete with. Now was the time when all of that goodwill was there to launch this thing and have it out there as a mass success so they could continue the progress with the next iteration. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump out of this. We're going to wrap everything up. I think you should want the MSI Claw to succeed. It's only good for everybody. Intel bringing more performance to the benchmark. The Z2 Extreme doesn't look like it's going to be that much more performant than the Z1 Extreme, but it is going to be more efficient, so there are gains there. There's a lot of competition right now in the marketplace, and I think Intel, being a real primetime fighter, can only do good things for us coming in the future. There's a lot of unanswered questions. When's this thing going to actually launch? When are we going to get hands-on with it? What is the Legion Go S going to actually look like in perpetuity? There's a lot. There's a lot left unanswered. What is coming in the Legion Go 2? Outside of that amazing OLED screen, what are we really going to get for a slightly heavier device, and what's that price point going to be? And are we having not the 890M driver on there? There's a lot of questions. Is GPD going to do anything besides refresh with chips in them? Are they going to keep designing and being ingenuitive like One X Player is right now? There's so much going on in the market. How bad are those Nitro devices going to be? So there's a lot of unanswered questions. I think MSI really missed the mark and really missed an incredible opportunity. I'm really curious how this is going to go over the next couple of months. I think the Legion Go S, the one coming out here in a couple of weeks at $730, doesn't have a place in the market. It's a 6800U. It costs too much. It doesn't make sense when Legion Go's are $550, and you can get a first gen Ally for $450. Like, what? Why would you bother doing that? So I think that has no bearing on a lot of this. I think that might be the perfect time for MSI to launch if they're going to launch here in February, because they can absolutely crush that device for just 140 bucks more or so. So with all that being said, let me know in the comment section down below, what are your opinions? Are you excited for the Legion Go S, for the Claw? What handhelds are you rocking? What do you think we can do to make this channel better? We've been doing a bunch of different stuff with audio. This video was made like 4 times, and I had problem after problem after problem. So I actually just started recording with Audacity again. So looking at getting a new camera, better lights, trying to fix this backdrop a little bit more. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.